Welcome and hello. Thanks for tuning into the English news program on Somaliland National Television. I'm Mohammed Adin here to update you with the latest events making headlines. These are the stories to come. Somaliland's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mohammed Bihi Younis, provides an exclusive interview to SNN TV. Minister of Sports, Youth and Tourism commences basketball competition in Somaliland. Car bomb in Syrian refugee camp kills at least 6 people. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mohammed Bihi Younis briefed media about the purpose of his visit to the United Kingdom and mentioned meetings held with several business giants willing to trade in Somaliland, as well as interviews he had with several foreign media agencies such as CNN.
Somaliland's Foreign Minister Mohammed Bihi Younis, speaking to the media on the purpose of his trip to London with Somaliland's Minister of Commerce, Dr. Mohammed Abdullahi Umar, said that they met with foreign traders willing to trade in Somaliland in the near future. He continued stating, "We've also met with reporters from Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, in addition to a number of radio stations and televisions who interviewed us about Somaliland. We're very pleased with the results of our trip and are thankful to the warm welcome we received." The foreign minister, speaking on his interview with CNN, stated, "As you may have watched, that CNN was comparing Somalia's unstable situation to Somaliland's peaceful situation and have discussed with me many points, including Somaliland's rightful recognition, which was the most important one, and I'm sure the world have seen that we are a peaceful nation." The minister continued elaborating on the significance of recognition to our nation and that our decision to become a sovereign entity has and continues to be the most important and that it's irreversible. The minister also mentioned that on his way to Somaliland, he will stop at Addis Ababa to meet several AU officials and ambassadors from Ethiopia. He will also attend AU high-level panel, which includes presidents of several African countries. These meetings are part of a group of meetings that we had with different countries, and its main goal is to tell the story of Somaliland and tell the whole world we are ready to contribute and become part of the international community. He eventually urged the people of Somaliland to continue maintaining the peace and stability in Somaliland.
On the commemoration of the National Day for Somaliland's Youth, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Tourism started a basketball competition for local basketball teams.
Director General of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Tourism mentioned that his ministry is making sure to develop the youth and provide for them activities that will help them create a better future for themselves. The Director General, while expressing his thankfulness to all sides involved in making this competition possible, praised the 6 teams competing to work even harder and to focus on what they have to learn from this competition. The chairman of SONIA also spoke at the event and urged the youth to focus on what matters, which is learning and developing their skills, whether in sports or any other field, and to stay away from the danger of addiction such as khat and other drugs which aren't good for their future. Eventually, other keynote figures spoke and thanked the Minister of Education for her efforts to make this possible.
An event occurred in the capital of Somaliland, commemorating the achievements of Al Rahma Relief Organization, a Somaliland-based non-profit charitable organization which devoted itself in helping relieve the dire conditions of many citizens through providing assistance and support. Sheikh Abdullah heads the Al Rahma Relief Organization. He emphasized the achievements of his organization since it was established with several purposes to ensure that citizens' living conditions are improved, an area of paramount priority according to the religious basis. He stated Al Rahma Organization promoted citizens' hand-in-hand cooperation and participation in helping families facing dire circumstances who are unable of managing their own family needs. Director of the Presidential Relief Office, Amina Mahmoud Diri, spoke at the event. She stressed the towering and pivotal role that Al Rahma plays in prompting productivity and ensuring more progress on the citizens' living circumstances. The director commended efforts of Al-Rahma, hoping continued progress for the organization. Somaliland's Vice Minister of Social Affairs and Labour, Shukri Harir Ismail, complimented the major efforts taken by Al-Rahma to help improve the living conditions of citizens, as well as encouraging a number of key distributions to most in-need people residing throughout Somaliland. Other keynote speakers at the event commended Al-Rahma Relief Organization for its participation in all efforts needed to ensure that Somaliland people assist each other, which is seen as instrumental for relieving dire living conditions. You're still tuned into the English news program on Somaliland National Television. Now for the main international headlines. Hello again. Now the main stories in Central African Republic. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has called for more troops to be sent to the Central African Republic. At a meeting at the UN headquarters on Thursday, he said another 3,000 soldiers should be sent immediately. It would bring the total of international forces to 11,000. When innocent civilians are being murdered in large numbers, deliberately targeted in the most brutal fashion simply because of who they are, the world must act, Ban told the Security Council.
When innocent civilians are being murdered in large numbers, deliberately targeted in the most brutal fashion simply because of who they are, the world must act.
Almost 1 million people have been forced to flee their homes since Muslim rebels overthrew the president nearly a year ago. In response, a Christian militia sprang up and violence between the two communities has continued. Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych says a deal to resolve the political crisis has been reached with opposition leaders and will be signed today. It includes a return to the 2014 constitution with reduced presidential powers, the immediate formation of a coalition government, and early presidential elections no later than December. France urged caution, though French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius, involved in mediations, said the opposition needed time to consult. A difficult night of negotiations were mediated by visiting European Union foreign ministers from Poland, Germany and France. Russia wants Yanukovych to impose tariffs. He wants to keep benefiting from their financial support. Following the announcement of the deal, Moscow said on Friday the next slice of aid, some 2 billion euros, would depend on the new government. US President Barack Obama has been consulting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who's been on the phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Yanukovych appears to be losing support Parliament, which adopted a resolution late on Thursday urging authorities to stop shooting and withdraw police from central Kiev. His party of the regions has also suffered a bloc defection of at least 10 MPs. At least 6 people have died after a car bomb exploded at a Syrian refugee camp close to the Turkish border. Dozens more were wounded when the blast happened on Thursday at the Bab al-Salama border crossing. The injured were taken by ambulance to hospitals in the Turkish own of Kilis. Thousands of people have fled from Aleppo to Turkey in the past 3 weeks because of increased bombing by President Assad's forces. Aleppo is just 50 kilometers away from Turkey. Administrators at the refugee camp said at least 20 tents were destroyed in the explosion and they had pulled bodies out of them. The death toll is expected to rise. An Al-Qaeda-linked group, the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, said it had been behind the attack. That's it for this edition of the English News Program. Thanks very much for being with us. You can catch us at the same time tomorrow. Until then, take care.